Wow, almost ready for Long Beach.
Yep. Welcome back to Made to Drift. In this episode, we'll be going over the roll cage fabrication, control arm development, and power steering setup on Chris Jennereth's Honda S2000. We'll also introduce you to the shop designing the Aero parts for the car.
The roll cage for Chris Jennereth's S2000 Formula Drift car. There's a lot of work because not only complying with the rules of the Formula Drift Championship, the technical regulations, but also making sure that the cage is non-intrusive to the driver was very important to Chris. In the past, he's had a cage where part of it was blocking his line of sight, and we just want to make sure that he's as comfortable as possible when he's in this car, and that the door bars were one of his main concerns, that he had a lot of room in there, so a lot of time was spent in an effort to make sure that he had more than enough clearance and that everything was tight to the chassis. Anybody that knows us knows that aesthetics are very important to us, so we did TIG weld the cage, which also requires a lot more preparation time, but as an end result, it came out very good and we're very happy with it. So I'd say the hard part of the chassis work's done, and next we just got to finish up the suspension arms, and we're ready to get going on the drivetrain. So pretty excited for this project. It's coming along great.
All right, so what we got here is we're starting to build our custom control arms for the S2000. We got 3/4 inch rod ends on all three corners, and where the factory articulation points are, we're with rubber bushings, which gives us a lot more fluid movement in the suspension. We've also machined up some Delrin bushings for the shock absorber, which will be pressed into a steel sleeve with an aluminum ferrule inside, which will be going here where the factory shock absorber goes. And for the back, we have turned the factory caster adjusters down for the 3/4 inch rod end to slide over, which will allow for even more adjustment with the factory and with the new pieces we made. Later on, you'll see these all installed on the car, and with all the steering angle we're hoping to get. So what we're doing here now that the cage is done is we're starting to set up the steering rack. We chose to use a Mazda RX-7 from a late 80s Mazda RX-7 FC because it's really easy to come by, and it uses an actual power steering setup similar to the S2000 in location. We're doing this because the factory S2000 rack is actually electronic, and it has a variable ratio, which makes it really hard for drifting. This will be really consistent, and they're really common, like I said, so if we ever need a part, or if we break one, we can go any junkyard and get one, or any auto parts place. So while I'm working on this, why don't we go up to Canada and see what's going on at Circuit Garage with the body kit.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Stefan from Circuit Garage. This is my car, my Honda S2000, and this is the car I used to develop my kit. This kit is going to be used on Chris' Formula D car for the upcoming season of Formula D. It all started with looking at the Time Attack car from Japan. I was inspired by all those custom Aero and those guys doing Time Attack in Japan. Start messing around with the modeling clay. I slowly learned how to, make my own parts, and it's all it started. This kit is a little different than everything on the market because in the front it's 45 mil wider, and in the back it's 75 mil wider. There's no kit out there as wide as this. When Chris approached me, I said yes right away. I wanted to help him to build a car that was going to look more like Japanese style, D1 style. Kind of bored with all the car we've seen in the last few years in Formula D. I'm going to help him to make his car look pretty sweet. Chris is going to be rocking Circuit Garage FF01R fender flares front and rear. He's going to have some custom canards, custom splitter, some side diffuser, and he's going to be rocking our duckbill. It's not on the car right now, but he should have it for the first round.
So I had an interesting thought the other day. Both of us wrecked at Irwindale, and by wreck I mean, flip. Whose wreck do you think was crazier? Yours? Or mine?
My wreck, more YouTube videos, going harder, going faster during qualifying, and J-Rob went crazy. My wreck.
Alright. Thanks for watching Made to Drift. On the next episode, we're going to get the car back from paint. We're going to show you the engine and transmission going into the car, the suspension going on the car, and also a time lapse of the engine getting built. If you like what you've seen so far and you want to stay up to date on the build, make sure you subscribe to Import Me.